All right, today's code language. Today's code language is on self-inflicted. All right. So we're gonna look up the definition like we always do and go from there. So that's the definition of self-inflicted is a wound or other harm inflicted on oneself. All right. And I'm gonna go to the overview. Let's go to the overview. Overview of self-inflicted refers to the act of intentionally harming one's own body, also known as self-harm or non-suicidal self-injury, as a coping mechanism for overwhelming emotional pain such as anxiety, sadness, or distress. Methods include cutting, burning, scratching, and hitting. It could be associated with mental health conditions like depression, eating disorders, and post-traumatic stress disorder. While not unaliving tendency, I'm trying not to say that word, self-harm carries a higher risk for unaliving attempts and requires professional support and treatment. So this is the literal definition of self-inflicted, but I want to broaden it out a little bit and take it a bit off of harming oneself physically and just talk about self-infliction to ourselves in other ways. You know, a lot of times we will create some of our own wounds. And again, I never exclude myself from these conversations. I'm not the content creator that comes online every day and try to sound perfect with y'all. Me too. But a lot of times we can be guilty of giving ourselves our own wounds. And so I think that for most of us who are trying to progress, which I would think that would be all of us, right? Trying to progress in life in a multitude of different ways, you have to control the controllables. That's one of my favorite phrases. I'm really a firm believer, thanks to my dad, in not worrying about shit that's outside of my control. I do that very, very well. I heard my father say that and tell me that at a very, very young age. And that's one of the things in my life that I learned from an adult that I took straight to heart because it just made the most sense out of that shit. Made more sense than 1+1 to me. You know what I'm saying? My dad said, why would I worry about some shit I can't do nothing about? And when he asked that question, I just looked at him like, it really ain't there. There really is no good answer for that. You know what I'm saying? And so I took that shit to heart. So yeah, I think that for a lot of us, if we can get into a position where we control the controllables and cut down on the self-inflicted things, I think we would all see greater gains and progress in whatever ways we trying to achieve it. You know, whether it be your physical fitness, whether it be your nutrition, whether it be your finances, whether it be your relationships, whether it be, you know, your profession, your career, you know, whatever it is. Just cut down on the amount of shit that you're doing to get in your own way, you know, because you'll look back and be like, damn, you know, I coulda, shoulda, woulda. You never want to be that person. You never want to be that person. Now, if you do something in an effort to try to make gains and you end up, you know, taking an L or failing in some way, you learn from what you go through and then you get back up and take another shot. That's what it is. You know, it's going to be a lot of no's before you get the yes you're looking for. But again, we stand on the term self-inflicted. You just want to make sure that you lock in on the things that you can put your hands on, the things that you can put your touch on, your texture on, and you make sure that you take care of those things. And then everything else, shit, that's why you stay prayed up. Let the universe know, let God know, let them know what you want, let them know what you're looking for, let them know what you desire, work towards it, and everything else going to have to happen around you. It's outside of your hands. Literally. Amari said, wounds are part of life, just us learning more about ways to operate in life. That's a fact. That's a fact. And scars are reminders. I agree. But yeah, that's the code language for the day on self-inflicted. So yeah, man, that's all I really got. I don't really want to beat that concept in too much, but just, you know, make sure that we, again, not doing ourselves a disservice and just staying locked in, staying focused and looking at it that way, no matter what your results look like, when you sitting in that rocking chair, you know what I'm saying? You know, like shit, everything I could do, I did. And shit, that should give you some solace. But yeah, that's the code language for the day on self-inflicted. Yeah. If you like what you just saw, support the channel. Make sure you subscribe, like, and jump in the comments. Talk to me so we could crack these codes. If you want to support the channel monetarily, go to my website and cop some merch, www.theclassiccodes.com. Or you can shoot me a Cash App. Either way, stick to the codes.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Weathered the winters when left in the cold. Hardened my heart.